Hello, my name is Tovah Feldshuh, actor, singer, playwright, and new author of Lilyville, Mother, Daughter, and Other Roles I've Played. In my career, I've had the honor of playing some extraordinary women, like Prime Minister Golda Meir, Dr. Ruth K. Westheimer, and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And today I have the honor of reading you a very inspiring book about Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg entitled I Dissent, Ruth Bader Ginsburg Makes Her Mark. And this is by Debbie Levy and with illustrations by Elizabeth Baddeley. You could say that Ruth Bader Ginsburg's life has been one disagreement after another. Disagreement with creaky old ideas, disagreement with unfairness, disagreement with inequality. Ruth has disagreed, disapproved, and differed. She has objected, she has resisted, she has dissented. Disagreeable? No. Determined? Yes. This is how Ruth Bader Ginsburg changed her life and ours. In 1940, Little Ruth's neighborhood was vibrant with immigrants, people from Italy, Ireland, England, Poland, and Germany, and Jews from Russia, like Ruth's father, Nathan Bader, people from different cultures with different holidays, foods, and traditions. But in all these families in Brooklyn, New York, and in families everywhere, one thing was the same. Boys were expected to grow up, go out into the world, and do big things. Girls were expected to find husbands. Ruth's mother disagreed. Celia Amster Bader, Ruth's mother, thought girls should also have the chance to make their mark on the world, so she took Ruth to the library. On the shelves were stories of girls and women who did big things. Ruth read about Nancy Drew, girl detective. She discovered Amelia Earhart, daring aviator. She learned of Athena, goddess of Greek myths. Here were independent girls and women taking charge. A girl could be anything. Sometimes Ruth and her parents took car trips out of the crowded city. As they drove past a hotel in Pennsylvania, Ruth saw a sign: no dogs or Jews allowed. This is how it was in those days. In hotels, restaurants, even entire neighborhoods announcing no Jews, no colored, no Mexicans, whites only, others are not welcome. Ruth and her family were Jewish. This was prejudice, pure and simple. Now it was Ruth's turn to disagree. She disagreed by never forgetting how it felt to read such words. She never forgot the sting of prejudice. In elementary school, Ruth was excellent in some classes and less excellent in others. Her favorites were English, history, and gym. In those, she did well. But then there was handwriting. Ruth was left-handed. Back then, teachers told left-handers they should try to write with their right hands. Ruth's right-handed penmanship was so bad, she earned a D on her penmanship test, and she cried. Then she protested. Ruth protested by writing with her left hand from that day forward, and it turned out she had quite nice handwriting. Ruth loved music. She especially loved opera. In music class, she lifted her voice to sing, la, 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 row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. This time it was Ruth's music teacher who objected. Gently. Ruth simply could not carry a tune. The teacher asked Ruth not to sing out loud in the chorus. Ruth kept on singing. In the shower and in her dreams, she continued to adore opera too. Not many girls went to college in the 1950s. Ruth made friends, but she also met girls who excluded Jews from their clubs. She met boys who thought girls should be looking for husbands. And then she met Martin Ginsburg. Marty was tall and funny. Ruth was small and serious. Marty could make her laugh. They fell in love, and they hatched a plan. After college, they would go to law school, both of them. Lawyers, Ruth had learned, could fight unfairness and prejudice in courts. People thought it was a fine idea for Marty to attend law school. They didn't think Ruth should go. A lady lawyer? People disapproved. Well, Ruth disapproved right back, and so did Marty. They got married, they went to law school, and they had a baby named Jane. Ruth's law school class had a total of 9 women and 500 men. She studied mightily and tied for first place in her class. And yet at graduation time, no one would hire this brilliant new lawyer. Why not? She was a woman. Men didn't want to work with a woman. She was a mother. Men thought a mother wouldn't pay attention to work. She was Jewish. Many people were still prejudiced. 3 strikes against her, but Ruth was not out. Finally, a judge hired her, and she worked like mad for him. After that, one law school hired her and then another. Ruth became one of the few female law professors in the whole country, and she did it with a new baby at home, James. Ruth had disagreed and worked her way into being a lawyer and a professor. But around her, other women were excluded from jobs. When they did get jobs, they earned less than the men. They were kept out of important roles in courts and government. To make matters worse, the Supreme Court of the United States, the highest court in the land, approved all this. As one Supreme Court justice had written years before, "The natural and proper timidity and delicacy which belongs to the female sex evidently unfits it for many of the occupations of civil life." In other words, women and girls were too shy and too weak to do big things in the world. Well, Ruth really disagreed with this. So Ruth went to court to fight for equal treatment of women. The most important cases went to the Supreme Court. The first time she appeared there, Ruth was so nervous she feared she might be sick. But standing before the 9 Supreme Court justices, Ruth imagined them as her students. She, Professor Ginsburg, needed to teach these students, who were all men, why a person's choices shouldn't be limited just because she was born a girl. Ruth wasn't only fighting for women. When women were excluded from the work world, men were excluded from home life. Why shouldn't a father stay home to care for his children and cook the meals? Why shouldn't his wife run a business? These were fresh ideas in the 1970s. Ruth did not win every case, but she won enough. With each victory, women and men and girls and boys enjoyed a little more equality. Ruth became well known as a lawyer, so well known that President Jimmy Carter chose her to be a judge in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Then Ruth became known as a first-rate judge, and President Bill Clinton asked her to be a justice on the Supreme Court. Along with the 8 other Supreme Court justices, her job would be to decide the most significant cases and answer the most difficult legal questions in the United States of America. Ruth agreed. In 1993, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the first Jewish woman on the nation's highest court. In each case the Supreme Court considers, after hearing from lawyers who argue for each side, the 9 justices take a vote. The side that gets the most votes wins the case. The justices who agree write an opinion to explain the court's ruling. When Justice Ginsburg votes with the winning side, she wears a special lace collar over her robe. But many times, when the Supreme Court announces the decision, Justice Ginsburg disagrees and says, "I dissent." Plus, she wears a different collar, just for dissenting. I dissent, Justice Ginsburg said when the court wouldn't help women or African Americans or immigrants who had been treated unfairly at work. I dissent when the court rejected a law meant to protect the right of all citizens to vote, no matter what their skin color. I dissent when the court said no to schools that offered African Americans a better chance to go to college. Justice Ginsburg can be very convincing. In one dissent, she explained why the court was wrong to rule against women workers who were fighting to get paid the same as men. Congress and the president agreed with her, and guess what? They passed a law to undo the court's ruling, and it went through. Justice Ginsburg has disagreed most often with the legal views of Justice Antonin Scalia, but they didn't just complain. I dissent, he said. No, no, said Ruth, I dissent. They shared their conflicting ideas. Each pointed out weaknesses in the other's arguments, and after the opinions were written, the two justices had fun with each other. They didn't let disagreements about law get in the way of their long friendship. Look what they're doing. They're parasailing in France. They're back in France. And they went on an elephant in India. Look at this beautiful elephant. Many have cheered Justice Ginsburg for her persistence and her independence. They have called her a rock star, a queen, a goddess, a hero. Of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not a rock star or a queen or a goddess, but to so many, she is a hero. She made change happen, and she changed minds. She cleared a path for people to follow in her footsteps. Girls in college, women in law school, and everyone who wants to be treated without prejudice. Her voice may not carry a tune, but it sings out for equality. Step by step, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has made a difference. One disagreement after another. So, that's the end of the story, and I hope you imbibe all the great virtues of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her journey to become a great voice in American history and in gender equality and equality for all.
For one thing, cherish your daughters as much as your son, and teach them both to stand up for what is right and to be brave and not be put down if at first you don't succeed. Then you try and try again.